Books are overrated. 90% of shoes are ugly. The majority of people are incapable of metacognition. Shall go off. Okay. Hello YouTube, this is KT and another video. Today I'm going to be reacting to the internet's unpopular opinions. So, right here we have my iPad mini. Up on her is r/unpopular opinions. I don't frequent Reddit. I don't know how to use it. I went on it once and was very confused and I just never went back. But Google has sent me here, so I'm going to trust it. Let's just jump right in. The world would be a better place if social media didn't exist. And this one's interesting because I'm actually listening right now to a 2-hour-long podcast by the real somebody. I don't know who, but it's about an English star who was on Love Island who committed suicide a few months ago because of some pressure she received both in the news and social media. She lost her job. Basically, she got canceled. And they're talking about cancel culture and social media and some reforms that might avoid situations like this in the future. And whenever I listen to these talks about, like, we should get rid of social media, we shouldn't be allowed to have cancel culture, this and that, I normally don't agree. I think that social media in general, like, let's just forget cancel culture for a second. Social media can be very toxic and very hard to deal with, but I don't know if that means it shouldn't exist. I feel like people need to take more accountability for their own feelings. Like me, for example, I'm not always happy with myself. I'm not always confident. I don't always like what I see in the mirror. And I can be a very jealous, angry person. So when I'm feeling my worst, Instagram is not the place for me. TikTok's consistent scroll, endless scroll, or Twitter refreshes, but you've got a good long minute before your scroll runs out. I think that it can make social media very addictive, very time consuming. I think social media has changed how we as a generation, as a population, as a people, how we socialize, which sounds counterintuitive because it's social media, but I would argue that being able to talk to people online has made us a lot less able to talk to people in person. Like, now when you're waiting in line at the grocery store, you just go on your phone instead of talking to the people around you, or not having anything to do, so you go to your neighbor's house, or being a little kid with literally nothing to do and no car to go anywhere, so you play with the other little kids in the cul-de-sac. Stuff like that doesn't happen anymore because we now have these digital options. I don't know, I'm kind of torn on this now that I'm talking about it. Like, I think people should take more accountability for their feelings. I think social media should be up to us, but I also feel like a lot of people who use social media are teens, young kids, young adults, whose brains aren't fully developed and who just, it's like if everyone's doing it, you're going to want to do it too. I don't know. That's kind of tough. I don't know if I wouldn't say I fully agree, but I actually don't know if I fully disagree because social media does have its pitfalls. You can't keep someone from cheating on you. This one I agree with. There's like this rhetoric on Twitter of like, cook the best meals, or like fix her sink when it breaks and you'll be good, you'll keep your man, you'll keep your lady, you're fine. No, I feel like people have autonomy, people have the ability to make decisions, people have frontal cortexes. They can decide what they want to do for themselves. If your partner decides they want to cheat on you, that's very unfortunate. I hope you don't have to deal with that, but like, that's not your fault. You didn't do anything but exist and be there, be with them. The only way that you can keep someone from cheating on you is never dating anyone in the first place. Them cheating on you is their own decision. We don't make decisions for people. That's not how this life works. Brushing your teeth after eating breakfast is far better than brushing your teeth before eating breakfast. I don't even like to talk. I don't even like to open my mouth until my teeth are brushed. I don't know why you would want to eat breakfast with bacteria, like overnight mouth, stank breath, just all that nastiness in your mouth. Like, can you not taste that? Am I the only one who tastes bad in the morning? Child, that's all you. I couldn't agree less. Trigger warning, if you don't want to see this or like hear this bit, skip to this timestamp or just mute until you see me doing this, okay? Suicide isn't selfish. It's the act of being defeated after a long battle. I disagree. I think suicide is selfish, but I think that when people say that, they forget that people are almost always selfish. We act in self-interest all the time. Like, we kind of live for ourselves. Occasionally we have moments of generosity, But if you really think about it, a lot of the times we're only generous or we only do things for other people because it makes us feel good or because we feel like it's the right thing to do. And if we do the wrong thing, then we'll feel bad. It usually reflects back on you. There's not a lot of truly selfless action out there. So I think it's selfish, but I think most things are selfish. So I don't hold it against you for being like, of course you're being selfish. That's human nature. Hi, we're back. Welcome. The ending for Avengers Infinity War is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe ending. False! Wait. Oh, completely agree. Completely agree. Like, my brain just automatically clicked into I need to teach these hoes their wrong mode, and I thought that this was talking about Endgame, which has a good ending, but, like, has not a thing on Infinity War. Like, I've never left a theater in tears. I never have. I never have. Not till that day. I was so pissed. I was so done. Child, Infinity War was a cultural reset. Power. It was a movement. It was the best. It was the best Avengers movie. It was one of the best MCU movies. Like, you can. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Nope. Nope. I will not be taking your opinions on that one. Nope. Sorry. Sorry. Infinity War. Sorry. Women are told they shouldn't change themselves for their partner. All I ever hear towards men is the opposite. And I'm assuming that they think that one of the two of those is wrong. So, I sort of disagree with this concept. I don't. I think that there are changes that can be made on both sides for your partner. I think that that's fine and fair, and that's something I've had to learn. You two are two completely different people with completely different lives. You're probably not going to see eye to eye on everything, which is going to require compromise. Sometimes compromise means meeting in the middle, but sometimes there is no middle ground. It's either something happens or it doesn't happen. As long as it's not something that goes completely against your values or makes you unreasonably uncomfortable, I think it's fine and fair to change for your partner. But if there are changes that you need to make, like if there's a reason you and your partners are not working out that is very fundamental to who you are, but is a problem, I feel like you need to be changing that more for yourself, not for your partner. Because if you change it for your partner, I feel like that's going to be short-lived. My previous point, humans are selfish creatures. We live for self-interest. If what you're doing doesn't interest you, you're not going to keep doing it. It was for you. They did it for you. Now you're appeased and they can chill. It was never for them in the first place. So why would they put the real effort into continuing to do it? If there is something truly wrong, like say you have trust issues and you need to work that out through therapy or through looking within yourself or through reflection on previous relationships or whatever. If you're doing it for your partner, I just don't think you can do it fully and well. I think that that's something you need to do for yourself. So I don't think women or men should change for their partner unless it's something reasonable and small and somewhat easily, doesn't need to be the simplest thing in the world, but somewhat manageable to attain. If this is like a whole big mental health, mental block kind of thing for you, changing for your partner, I just don't think it's going to work. I think you need to be changing for you. Maybe that's just me. Wearing traditional clothing of a different culture is okay. Why are you doing it? I don't think it's inherently harmful to wear clothing of another culture. I just wonder why you want to do that. Like, the only thing I can think of is Asian culture. I find a lot of their traditional garb very beautiful and interesting. And I wouldn't mind taking part in that. But that's it. I just want to wear it because it's pretty. So I feel like if I am asked by that culture, hey, don't wear our stuff, it's important to us and we just don't want to see you in it. It's not that deep to me. Like, I thought it was pretty, but it's important to you and you don't want to let me show. Okay, cool, live your life. Why is this important to you? Why do you want to wear a dashiki or whatever you're concerned about? I can't, no, I don't know how to say that, never mind. A kimono. Why do you want to wear these things? What do you gain? I just don't get it. A minimum wage should be a livable wage. Now, surface level, I agree with this, but like, I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second and speak against myself. What is a livable wage? Like the single 22-year-old who lives in a studio apartment needs a very different amount of money from the single dad 45-year-old with 3 kids who lives in a 3-bedroom house, so his kids have a place to play. Like, what counts as livable? What are we talking about? And also, I feel like people don't think about how this economy works sometimes when they say things like this. If the minimum wage goes up, right, that's going to cause inflation in prices. And eventually, we'll end up back where we started. Let's say right now, a pack of bread costs $1.50, and you work $7.25 an hour minimum wage. So you're paying about a seventh of an hour of work for a pack of sliced bread. Then everyone, not just you, everyone gets bumped up. And instead of paying $7.25 an hour, you get paid $10 an hour. The price of bread is not likely to stay the same. Not for very long, at least. If a seventh of an hour of work is what bread cost before, and bread companies charged that, and people bought bread, now that everyone's making more money, there's not much of a reason for bread companies to not carry on that standard of a seventh of an hour is what you're going to pay for this bread. I'm not saying it would happen instantly, and I'm not even saying it would happen that way, because just because the minimum wage goes up doesn't mean the CEOs get paid more. It doesn't mean the middle of the realm workers get paid more. It doesn't mean people who were already paid above minimum wage get paid more. So it might not happen exactly that way, but I just feel like inflation is something you really need to think about. There should be a maximum wage as well as a minimum wage. Now there's a thought. Oh! If you have an OnlyFans and upload nude photos of yourself, you are a porn star, not a model. This I agree with, but I have a question. Why do people not just use the, like, street terms, I guess, the colloquialisms of these industries? Why are you calling yourself a model or a nude model instead of porn and nudity? Like, they're different. Why are you calling yourself a dancer instead of a stripper? Why are you calling yourself an entertainer? Why? Like, you clearly don't have the same shame that I or a lot of us out there would have to not want to put our naked bodies or sexual acts on the internet. You clearly don't have that shame. So why aren't you owning it? Why aren't you just like, oh, I make porn? I don't get it. What's the issue? Why? I would like to know. I'm really curious. I don't mean this to insult anybody. I just don't get it. Like, why are you calling yourself a dancer? That's gonna make me think you're doing ballet when you're not. You're not. So why? Weddings are not that important. Now, a wedding, as I've gotten older, I've learned more and more. So first I've learned that the wedding is not the moment where you get married. You're married when you sign the papers. The wedding is just ceremony, it's the cutesies. So, and the next, now that I'm older, and I've actually logistically thought about this, I feel like my wedding would be very annoying. I would have to invite my family, which is a scam. I would have to invite my friends, of which I have none. My whole husband's side of the family would be there, and I would only know like 8 of them, and that the rest are just strangers. I disagree. I feel like weddings can be important. Like, it depends on the person, it depends on the couple, it depends on what's going on. A wedding is important to me, but just because I think it's important to have that celebration doesn't mean that I think it's a flawless, like, life-changing, happiest moment of my life. I feel like my wedding is going to be annoying. I have this wedding rehearsal and I tell y'all how to walk in, and you don't walk in exactly as I told you to. I think my wedding would be so much more enjoyable if it was just me and my fiance and maybe my dad, so he can walk me down the aisle and then leave, and no one else. But unfortunately, that's not how this works, and I don't think I would enjoy, like, that's kind of just a date then. So I think a wedding is important. I just think they're a little overhyped. I think they come with their fair share of issues, and there's a reason why the term bridezilla is out there, because y'all make us crazy, because you don't know how to act. We had a rehearsal. Just do what we rehearsed. Like, what's the confusion? 99% of all police officers are good people who care about their I couldn't even say it. I hate myself. Body doubles and stunt performers don't get the recognition they deserve. Retweet. This isn't Twitter, but okay, I need to end this video. I could go on for days, clearly. But I'm gonna just read off some more opinions. Y'all give y'all little, respond to these ones in the comments. I'm just gonna read them off. And once you're done responding to that, click one of my links and go to another video or to my channel to subscribe. So, ice cream is better eaten in winter rather than summer. Why would, okay. Um, the immature brother culture is getting too popular in the US. I don't know what that is. Morality is more important than intelligence. I don't know what context you're talking about, but I guess I agree. Jeans are. I'm asking you guys for your opinions. Why am I talking so much? I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna just read. Jeans are better than sweatpants for lounging around.